Hello. So today I will be teaching you guys how to design this simple mobile app profile screen. But before I go ahead, I would like to take a moment to appreciate everyone who has taken their time to interact with my page. I mean the likes, the comments, even the subscriptions. I really thank and appreciate you guys so much. God bless you all. So let's dive right into it. So first of all, when you want to design something like this, there are some key things you should notice or have at the back of your mind. And one of those things is the fact that always check for similar components. I mean, components that reoccur on your page. An example of that is this list here. You guys can see that this list we have like the same layout of each information just being repeated but with different content. So when you're designing something like this, all you just have to do is design the first one, which will be the master component, and you duplicate all over before you now start editing the content. So let's get started, guys. The first thing I'm going to do, but I'll be designing the light mode, not this dark mode exactly. I'll be designing the light mode right now. So the first thing I'll do is I want to get my header text here and the body content for this top section. So tap T on my keyboard and I'll type my profile. Okay, set that in the middle of your screen. I'll give that my header text size, which is 24. Yup. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create this body content here by tapping R for a rectangle on my keyboard, and I'll click anywhere on my screen to give me the 100 by 100 rectangle box. I would also give it a corner radius of 10 here and set it to the middle of my screen again. So now I need the name and the sub details under there, so I can duplicate this text down here and just reduce the size to 16, or let me use 20 for that, and that will be Jelly Agile. Yes, so now I need the subtext. I'll duplicate this text again by holding my shift and my alt key and dragging it down, and I'll also reduce that back to 14, which is for my subtext, and I will say product designer. Yes, that is one text. I'll duplicate it in two places again. I'll change this one to a straight slash text. I'll make this one closer. So those two texts, I'll put them in a single auto layout, shift A, and give them a spacing of, let's say, 4. And I'll use my control key to click on this first one and duplicate it, control D, take it to the front of that slash, and I'll change it to Lagos State. Okay, awesome. So everything here, since it's subtext, I'll change it to gray color. So this and this becomes one auto layout, shift A, space between them, I think 8 is good, or probably 4. I don't want them to look too far apart. So this content and this picture becomes one single auto layout again, and we can have it there. Set it in the middle of your page. From here to your profile can be, let's say, 24. Yes, not bad, not bad. So guys, just like that, we're done with the first section here. So the second section here, I'm going to duplicate this text here, hold my alt key and just drag it down here, 24 to the left, auto width, we adjust this to 24, and I will say profile settings. Yep. So I'm going to drop that to 16. I don't want it to be too big. Then now let me create the master component for this one. So I'll just duplicate this text again, hold your shift and alt key, drag it down. Then remember your visual hierarchy, all text cannot be the same size or the same color, so you have to drop the size here from 16 to 14. Yes, Then I'm going to change that to like the medium. I don't want to use bold since it's a body text, so I'll use medium, and I would say profile details. Yup, align to the left. Awesome, awesome. So I need the subtext now. I'll use my shift and alt to drag again, and I'll say click here to edit your profile details. Awesome. And I'll drop this to 12 visual hierarchy again. It can't be the same size with the header here. And this color will also drop to gray. This will remain my black. So these two texts becomes one single auto layout, shift A, with a spacing of 4 between them. Yeah, that's good enough. So I need an icon here. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to click here and I'll search for user or profile. Okay, yes, it's user, so I'll just drag it down here. Then I'll put it in an auto layout, shift A. So my auto layout is going to be, I'll lock the constraint here and drop it to 32. Align it to the center here, give it 100% corner radius. Then I'm going to give it this color. Let me borrow this color from this side, Ctrl C. I'll give it here, Ctrl V. Yeah, but since we're using light mode, I would like my yellow to be a bit darker. Yes, awesome. So I'll copy the code of that yellow, Ctrl C, give it to the field to Ctrl V. Then I'll drop the opacity of the field to, let's say, 10%. I hope that is not too much. Yes, and also the icon inside, I'll drop it to 20 instead of 24. Tap K on your keyboard to scale it down to 20. Yep. So this icon and this information becomes one single auto layout again, shift A. The spacing between them, we can have 12 there. And I need this arrow here, so I'll just search for the arrow again. Yep, I'll drag it here. And the arrow also becomes gray, not black, to make it sort. So yeah, so this and this becomes one auto layout, shift A again. And that would be my full width minus my left and right padding, which is 24, 24. So on this frame, the frame is 360, so minus 48, that will be 312. So I'll make the width 312 and I'll double click here to span them across and set it to the middle of my screen. Yeah, so like this, guys, I've created my master component for this details, this list here. So all I have to do is just to keep duplicating and keep changing the content inside. But one more last thing is that you guys can see that this has a kind of line under it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the height a fixed height of, let's say, 64 or 72. Then I'm going to give it an underline. So add a stroke to it, a gray stroke, change the stroke to bottom 0.5, make it sort to slash here and drop it to like 20% opacity. Let's see if that is visible. Not really visible. We can increase the visibility to 40. Let's see what we have. Yeah, I think it's better like this. So I can now duplicate this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold your shift and your alt key to drag it down. Once you have to put two of them in a single auto layout, shift A, then you reduce the spacing to, let's say, 16 or 10. Yeah, 10 is not bad. Then let's duplicate the last one to make it 5. Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D. Yes, now I have 5. So this header plus this list becomes one single auto layout again, shift A, and I have 16 between them, and I'll just drag it up a bit. but the last one doesn't need that underline, so I'll click on the last one on the list and I'll remove the stroke from there. So let's change this one to password. Click here to manage. Your password, put that on auto width. This should be notifications. Click here to manage notification alert, auto width also. This one will be dark mode. To change view preference, then we have here as log me out. Go back to login page. Yep. So we are going to change this to a toggle button, but I don't have time to design that right now, so permit me to just steal this one here to replace this one here. Nice. So I can change the color to gray. Yep. Okay. Yes, and I'm going to toggle it back to default since this is light mode. Yes, awesome. So I can't start looking for all this, so I'll just have to steal them from here. But I already showed you guys how I achieved that already, so I'm sure you guys have gotten that scope. Just get your icon, put it in an auto layout, make your icon 20 pixel by 20 pixel and make the auto layout 32 by 32 pixel, and that's it. Okay, this is nice. So now all I just need to do is to separate them and just to clean up my page. I'm really trying not to make this tutorial too long for you, but I promise you it's really worth it. So this content to this header makes one single auto layout, and I reduce it to 20. From here to my battery pin should not be more than 16. Yep. So everything here I'm going to make it to get this kind of nesting. Now that's the last thing we'll be doing right now, so I'll just make this frame here. I'll remove the auto layout and I'll just hold my Control and Alt key to span it across. Then while holding only my Control key, I'll take it to the top. Then I'll press the button right after my letter P on my keyboard to send that to the back. Hold your Control key again and bring it a little bit lower, just to give it this small space beneath this text here. So I'll change. Okay, this has been changed already. The color of my screen is already on 96 lightness, which is like off-white, not full white FFF. So I'm going to change this one now to full white FFF, so it stands out there. Then I'm going to give it this corner radius and also reduce the width back. So the width is 361. It's supposed to be 360 as per my frame here. My frame is 360. So the width of this frame inside here is going to be 360 minus. So I'm just going to give it, let's say 10 on the left, 10 on the right. That's 20. So minus 20 pixels. And I'll put it in the center. Then to the top, which is my Y, would also be 10. And I'll give it corner radius. So to get the perfect corner radius now, you look at the corner radius of your outer frame. The corner radius of my outer frame is 24. The distance between this frame and the outer frame is 10. So that's 24 minus 10. So the corner radius of this one will be 14. That is how to get your perfect nesting corner radius. Well, that is a lesson for another day, I guess. So I'm going to take this one back into an auto layout and I'll take it up a bit so it doesn't feel too close to the bottom, and I'll do the same thing for here too. right? So I'm just going to make this corner radius the same width as this one, which is 340. So I'm going to remove the auto layout. I'll make it 340, set it to the middle of my page, everything inside one auto layout again, and set it back to the middle. Yes, and also back to the middle like this. So my auto layout, I'll drag it down to give it more spacing to the bottom, and also give it a white background. Don't forget our corner radius is 14, and this will also be 14 again. 14 corner radius. Yeah. So guys, yes, that is how I achieved this very simple and smooth profile page. And yes, of course, my picture, I wouldn't forget that, trust me. So I can just copy the fill of this picture and drop it here. So let me know if you enjoy this tutorial, and let me know if there is anything you would like me to touch again after this. And please don't forget to drop a like, don't forget to drop a comment, at least tell me how I'm doing, if there is anything I need to improve on. And also, please try to subscribe. Okay, you know I'm definitely going to say that. Please try to subscribe. Thank you guys, I'll see you next time.